All right, you guys ready? How's it going? Welcome everybody. This is my 4th stream so far, and I'm super excited for this because I finally fixed the bug that I had using Chakra UI and Blitz.js. For those of you who watched me in my previous streams, let me set it up real quick. Sorry. For those of you who watched the last stream, here's the issue. All right, so normally Blitz.js functions using an experimental build of React and React DOM. Okay, so let me open up fork real quick so I can show you guys what was the issue that I was experiencing. All right, let's switch out. Restart the app. So let's do a clean yarn install. Okay, so the issue was that Blitz.js by default uses this experimental build of React because they utilize a lot of was it suspend or something like that. So let me just show you. Yeah, and by the way, 100 followers. Thank you guys so much. This has been a blast, man. I didn't expect 100 followers, so this is so cool. All right, so let's restart the app, and you'll see what was the issue. Whenever I try to, I don't know, do some responsive stuff like basically change the browser width, this was the issue. Maximum update depth exceeded, right? So this can happen when a component repeatedly calls set states inside component will update. Okay, so for those of you who know React, these methods are lifecycle methods when you use class components, and within our app we don't actually use any class components. All of the components are functional components, right? So what's the issue is probably Chakra UI doesn't work well with the experimental builds of React, right? So what I did, and I had to do some sacrifices, is switch over to React 17, right? Because it's the latest stable release. Let's do a clean yarn install again. And what else did I had to do? Basically, add every time I call the use query, add the suspense fall, and within app tsx we had a bunch of this guy error boundary that has a fallback component. I think it does utilize suspense, but we can also try to get this back working at first. But yeah, basically clear out every suspense that suspense operations that are happening from our app, and that actually did the trick. If we do a clean yarn start, and do a yarn install beforehand, we can see that this issue is not happening anymore because we are using a stable version of React. So check it out. No issues, no re-renderings, no issues at all. Right, so let's continue. Let's first validate that this error boundary that we had previously here is still legit and actually works. If it does, then we can leave it like that. Awesome, no issues at all. Right, yeah, okay, so we can continue working on our app without any issues now. That's super cool. Let's get back to app tsx because I see the loading. Yeah, this is the loading component that I used before, and this is the suspense component, suspense wrapper that we had within the error boundary. But yeah, not anymore. So that's actually the price that we have to pay, right? At least for now, until I don't know, Suspense gets into React and Chakra. Maybe Chakra UI tests using the experimental version of React, or Blitz.js moves to a stable version of React. But for now, this is what we have to do, and that's it. Yeah. So there's an additional responsibility every time we use the use query functionality. We also need to where was it? Well, not here, but let me try to find a way. Yeah, there it is. We got the use query somewhere around here. Yeah, there it is. We add the suspense false here, but then get the is loading property that Blitz.js returns us, and then return a simple loading component. We have to do this. If this wasn't the case, you know, if we didn't set this block of code here, then the next time we actually use the HDS, which is here, it will crash because HDS will be undefined, right? And React suspense actually, you know, renders, I don't know, like it kind of renders the components asynchronously, and if holidays depend on HDS, right, or on these results, then it will wait for the actual result to get back and then render the stuff, and that's how it functions. But without suspense, the responsibility falls on our side, right? So that's what we need to do. Let's see. Yeah, we got the right soundtrack. Okay, cool. Okay, so we can proceed now. What do we have to do? Last time we redesigned this, and I think it looks super dope. The previous requests and the pending requests. Yeah, and also, are there any new faces? Because I can't see who's currently watching the stream. If there are some new faces, let yourself know here in the comments, wherever they are. So so I can tell you about the projects that I'm building real quick. Okay, I think I found what we can do. Yeah, Gambert. All right, so yeah, let's try to talk on English, so you know we can all understand what we're talking about. So what's the project? The project is a simple absence tracker, right? So for example, in our company, currently the way that our employees are requesting days off, right? Like sick days or vacation days or whatever, is through Telegram, you know, and Telegram is a chat app, and we have an office manager that scrolls through this internal group on Telegram and takes a note every time somebody requests a days off, like. And I thought that, you know, we can do better, like a lot. And I thought to, you know, use this opportunity to also learn more about Chakra UI and Blitz.js. And believe me, I mean, you guys will see, this stack is currently my favorite for web development, hands down. I mean, I feel so productive with this stack, right? So so that's it basically. A simple app that can allow the employees to request days off, to mark Gambert, why? Jason Web Dev. What is Blitz.js? Hey Jason, thanks for following. Yeah, Blitz.js, let me show you. Blitz.js is a full stack framework, full stack React framework built on top of Next.js, right? So why is that your favorite stack? You'll see. I mean, the time it takes for me to develop a functionality is super small, super quick, and there aren't any, you know, there are not a lot of coding involved, right? So more coding, more bugs. Yeah. So yeah, this is Blitz.js. It's built on top of Next.js. It utilizes Prisma.io as a DB connector and React Query from 10stack as a way to communicate between the client and the server side. So basically Blitz.js gives you this, right? So we know that Next.js have, in Next.js you can define your own API routes, and that is super cool. But for example, you got server side and client side. When you're in client side, you need to do an API call to that functionality. When you're in server side, you can just call it directly, right? And what Blitz.js does is it utilizes React Query, wraps around your queries and mutations. So queries are APIs that read from the database, and mutations are APIs that create, update, or delete from the database, right? So queries versus mutations, and it utilizes this use query and use mutation to basically make the API requests feel like actually using a function rather than building an API request, right? You don't see any URLs, you don't see any links here, and actually get holidays is just a simple asynchronous function that that will get executed on the server side, right? Where I can just say await db.holiday.find, and so we have a db query here. We are reading directly, you know, into the database and then return the results, right? And those results are in HDS, like holidays here, and it doesn't feel like making an API call, but that's what, you know, that's what Blitz.js does for you. And it's not only that. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. It's also super smart. If you use this query on the client side, it'll make an API call. If you use this query on the server side, like in your in some other API route, then it will just directly call, see this line here, directly call the function get listing in this case, right? So you don't have to care about that, and that's, you know, that's why I like it. There's also like a native TypeScript support, and I'm pro TypeScript all the way. And yeah, it's still an early framework, guys. This is an alpha version of the framework. So there's this big yellow box that says you should know that this is an alpha software, right? So it is incomplete. There are some rough spots and bugs. Then the APIs may change, but you can build an app and deploy it to production, right? So this is on you guys. So here's Blitz.js. We're working hard on it, and yeah, I mean, I'm talking with the Blitz.js guys. They are super cool. You know, they're super helpful, and they are seriously like working hard on pushing the first stable version as soon as possible. But yeah, for now it's, you know, it's on you whether you use it in production or not, and if it fails, it's on you. But yeah, it doesn't stop us from playing around with it and see how it functions, and I love it. I seriously love it. Yeah, we made something similar with React Redux and GraphQL. Yeah, exactly. You can also do this stack, for example, yourself, right? So you can utilize Next.js, manually install and configure React Query, and manually install and configure the Prisma DB integration. Like, I don't know if you know, but this is Prisma.io. So it's like a driver for your PostgreSQL database, and I have a PostgreSQL running locally on my machine. But yeah, basically you write your tables in a Prisma schema, as you can see here, right? These are our models, our database tables. And what's so cool about it is when you do a migration, check this out. Yeah, for the old faces, sorry about this. Let's give the new guys an intro on what we're doing in the tech stack, and we can continue working. So let's just get holidays, right? So DB is imported from DB, and DB is actually the Prisma client, right? And that's just npm install Prisma client. It knows about our schema, right? And when we do a migration, it builds its own types, TypeScript types. And when we try to use it, here we can say db dots, and you see all of these things. There's the absence tables, then there's the absence tracking period, there's the absence type, and basically all of the tables that you have, right? And also it exposes these arguments for you, like find many holiday arguments, right? We have a table named holiday, and it generates the find many holiday arguments for us. So when we try to use it on the client side, right? So this is a DB connection. This lives on the server, right? Not a chance to put it on the client side. No way. And we have it set up in the server because that's the most secure, place to set up a DB connection. But also what happens is, for example, if we try to use it, we have autocomplete on the client side, right? So we can say where, and check this out. We got the created at, we got the date, the ID, the title, the updated at. These are the table fields that we have in the database, and we have autocomplete when we are coding our front end part, right? So how cool is that? I mean, it's super cool. You guys should check it out. Right now, we just want to get all the holidays without any without any constraints. So we just pass an empty object here, and we get the holidays. We also get the is loading, right? So we can also get the clear, the is error, is fetching, is idle, and everything. Yeah, Jason, it is too good to make a new project without TypeScript. I'm with you on that one every time. Right, so I don't know, guys. Let's find something to do. I think we got a lot of, I mean, not a lot of, but at least some of work here in the pending requests. Because when we go, oh no, actually we don't have a lot of work. I thought this was not responsive, but it is. Okay, but let's check out the breakpoints just to make sure that nothing feels squished. And I guess this is okay, right? And then when we go even smaller, then it the layout transforms into a vertical layout. So that's what we actually want. All right, cool. This is nice. Okay, so let's revise. Right now we can request a leave, right? We can pick if we want vacation, sick leave, or days off. We can pick the way that we pick our days. For example, let's say vacation, right? So there's no single day vacation, right? You can pick the multi-way and manually pick the days, but you can also do a range, for example, like this. And then you got all of the days. Thoughts on Material UI? I work with Material UI on a daily basis. It is cool, yeah. It is a cool framework. It is the most popular, I think, UI framework for React. I don't know, aside from Bootstrap and Tailwind nowadays. But yeah, there are some love and hate relationship with Material UI, but it definitely gets the job done. I mean, it saves you a ton of time. Chakra UI, I think it's better, maybe because it's a newer framework, right? Heavy, yes, heavy. I mean, definitely. I'm also using the Material UI package for Framer, where I do my prototyping. Yeah, and I mean, I have an iMac, the latest one, and it crashes my PC. So it is super heavy. Not the React, but the Framer package. So but it's I do love a lot of things from Material UI as well, like the components and the drawers and stuff. It's just simply. Did you upgrade to Big Sur? No sir, not yet. I got OBS running, I got audio hijack, and I'm not sure if they pushed support, so I'm afraid that if I update to Big Sur, I might not be able to, I might not be able to stream, and I'll just wait for a month or two, you know, to get those patches running, you know, after the... Did you downgrade? Isn't that like a painful thing to do? I mean, you have to format your whole machine in order to downgrade. Yeah, but no, I'm gonna wait. I'm definitely going to wait for, you know, at least a month or two, just to be sure that everything falls into place and I don't lose any of the software that, you know, that helps me work and do my live streams. So I'm gonna wait for a little bit. Right, so what can we do now? Okay, let's check. I mean, look at this for somebody that doesn't know. Let's do a Blitz DB Studio. Okay, and this will spin up the Prisma IO Studio so we can see our database. How neat is that? And if we were to change my role into, I don't know, into a user, let's say, and then log out and log back in. I'm using G Suite here. Right now we don't have these, what do you say, the requests and the admin part. So that's cool, that's working. The only difference from the last stream is the vacation is not automatically selected, so let's pay a visit and see why we don't have it. Now the holidays, requests, there we go, pages, request.tsx. Okay, so first we got these guys here, the absence types. Okay, so first we're spinning if the absence types are loading, and then we are displaying them into a horizontal stack. But then why is it not selected? Okay, so you see the problem? We're getting the absence types normally, of course, using the useQuery React hook. But since we switched to React 17, we lost the suspense abilities. So we have to add the suspense false property configuration in the useQuery. And that means that when we initialize our states, that keeps the selected absence type. We don't actually have the absence types yet, right? It's not asynchronous now. So let's try something. If the absence types are loading, right? If we still don't have the results back, instead of a spinner, we're not going to need this guy here. Instead of a spinner, let's just return. Oh, but then useState is going to return a loading, but then useState is going to make problem, because we need to. This React hook is called conditionally, right? So we can't do that. React doesn't allow us to do that. So they must be called in the exact same order in every component render. But then, okay, so I'm not sure what we can do now. Let's revert, and instead of a spinner, let's add our loading component here. You could use a use effect that runs with absence types changing, and then set the selected ability type if it's null. Yeah, definitely. And Yeah, of course, but we just need to check. We just need to check if we change the absence types, right? So we don't want to overdo the whole setting, but that is an idea. Let's try it out and let's see how it works. We import the use effect here. We go up below this line, right? So we want to declare it first and then use our use effect. Yeah, English only, guys. Yeah, so okay, so let's declare our use effect now, and now let's watch for the absence types here. If the absence types exists, right? So this can be okay, so this is always, I guess, this is always an array. It's never null or undefined. So if we get any of the absence types, right, then let's set the first one. Okay, and that's it. But also guys, maybe watch on the selected absence type as well. So if the selected absence type is null, right, and we got the result back, then set the first one. So when this happens, the selected absence type will become the first ID, but not null. So this way we can ensure that only once, you know, we set the initial absence type only once. So let's see that in action. I think you already saw a sneak peek out of it, but let's just refresh. Okay, so length of undefined. So absence types can be, yeah, they can be undefined. So we wanna do, this guy should be null. Then we do want the absence types not to be null or undefined, and also contain results. Let's refresh. Awesome. Did you see that little window of time when the vacation was not selected and then it became selected? So check this out again. You saw that? Let's try to zoom in again. I think it's not a big deal. Check it out. Yeah, it's not a big deal. I mean, I think we can live with this. It's not, you know, it's not that bad. But I try to avoid flickers in the app as much as possible. Okay, so we got this working. We have our fancy calendar here where we can do a lot of the stuff. For example, if you see we are requesting a leave, right? Would use layout effect change that? I don't know. Let's check it out first. React.js.org, and let's see what use layout effects is. Alright, so the signature is identical to use effect, but it fires synchronously after all DOM mutations. Use this to read layout from the DOM and synchronously re-render. Updates scheduled inside use layout effect will be flushed synchronously before the browser has a chance to paint. I guess we can use that. Let's see how it works. Instead of use effects, let's do a use layout effect. This might paint the website a bit later, right? Because it might wait for the results. So we get, if this was if SEO was important, then it would be a sacrifice, right? Because the page, oh yeah, that actually did it. Yeah, if SEO, yeah, thank you, Jason. If SEO was very important here, then we'd probably want to stick with use effect, because we want to paint as much, you know, as soon as possible. But in this case, we don't care about SEO because this is a private, you know, there's no news or anything like that. So this is just an app that allows the employees to function well. All right, so cool. Yeah, thank you, Jason. This really does the trick. Awesome. So we fixed this. We got these working. We got and also we got the holidays. You can see I set 25th of November to be a dummy holidays, just so we can see that it's disabled here, so the calendar doesn't pick it up. And we add our notes and then we submit. This doesn't please me design wise, but I think it does the trick for now, and you can easily request a leave and everything. So let's switch back to admin. Now also check this out. The default role is user. I guess that's okay, or should we make it an employee? Let's just stick with user. What's broken don't need to be fixed. I'm gonna make myself an admin and then do a fresh session as an admin, and we can proceed. Okay, the dashboard's empty. Request a leave. Doesn't look the best, but it does the trick. We got the pending in requests. This looks super clean, and I like how it turned out. These are all the pending, and these are the previous. If you decline or accept one of the requests by mistake, then you can you know, fix your mistake here. So there's a fallback for the admins as well. And we got the admin panel here, and the admin panel has the absence types, the tracking periods, and here's the holidays. Here is the holidays section where the admins can define their own holidays. Okay, so December 15, what's the holiday name? Hit enter, and that's it. So what can we do now? Maybe we could try to do some thinking. Right, for example, how many days I have left? We don't have that anywhere, right? Like right now I can request 1,000 days vacation if I wanted to. The system is not restricting me from doing that, right? So maybe we need to think of a way. Maybe we need to think of a way of how we can achieve that, right? So how we can keep track of every employee, right? And how many days left that employee has. So let's check out our DB just real quick. We got the user, but the user model does not have any notion about days off and stuff. We got the employment date here, right? This is an idea that Costa has. Is Costa around? Costa, if you're here, make yourself known. This is an idea that Costa has about utilizing the employment dates, right? So for example, if a new employee comes in a company, some companies work like you're a new employee and you don't have, like, I don't know, 20 something, you don't have the full days off, right? You don't have the full vacation package. So I don't know, each day or each 5 days or something like that, you get a day of vacation appended to your current, capacity. So we thought maybe, maybe spin up a cron that can trigger every midnight and do the calculations. If this employee, deserves another day off into its capacity, then just append it, like increase that employee's capacity to one day. But that might be too complex for now. I'd rather make it simple and work flawlessly. And then we can, start getting fancy with some cron stuff and, I don't know, user reports and charts and whatnot, But for now, I don't think we need to implement it. So let's just get it out of the picture. So we'll do a migration later on. We got the session. The session came with Blitz.js. Yeah, and also Blitz.js includes an auth functionality, so you can use it outside of the box. We got the absence types, and that's clear. We got the absence, and also that's clear. We got the proof, the type ID, and here's the relations to the users and whatnot. And then we have the holiday. That's simple by itself, and then we have the absence tracking period, right? So what is the absence tracking periods? Right, each year your vacation days restart, right? For example, you can use all of your 20 something days, and if you want more, you can't get paid vacation. You'll just have to wait until the next year, right, to actually reset, and then you get the new vacation days. So basically that's the notion of the tracking, like the absence tracking period, right? So I started doing something like what's the absence, you know, what the absence tracking period is like. What's the starting date? Let me show you the UI for that in admin panel. What is the start date, sorry. Let's just say 1st of July 2020. When does it end? 1st of July 2021, right? And then there's also this grace period that is optional. Let me see if it's optional. It's not, but if you want it to be optional, then you can just set it to 1st of July 2021. So what the grace period is, for example, after the absence tracking period ends, you still have some, you know, at least companies in Macedonia, they still allow you, I don't know, like 6 months or something like that. I know it's 6 months, for example. The following 6 months, you got the possibility to use your days off. For example, if you have 5 days left from the previous period, you can use them as well, right? So that's why I built the absence tracking periods concept here, and I also added the an array of absences, so we can later see all of the absences, all of the employees, right, that took days off, and how many of them took the days off, and how much days off they took, and whatnot, you know. But also we can do some stuff with maybe create a new table in the apps that connects the user with the absence tracking period, and then maybe the array of absences will not be needed. I'm thinking something along the lines with user in absence tracking period. I don't know, that's way too long, but something like that, you know. So every user, whenever the admin creates a new tracking period, every user will inherit it, and every user will inherit, for now, I don't know, maybe we can build a UI for that, but they can inherit 20 something day, let's say 21, I don't know, right? So every user can inherit 21 days, and that's the capacity to the user, right? So if we were to build 2 periods, get the, you know, 2020 and 2021, then for example we can, when requesting an absence, we can see how many days left the user has, right? So we can get all of the periods that the user is currently, you know, assigned to or inherited, and get the days off pretty much, you know. So we need to do something like that, and I think that's the simplest way of tracking things. If you guys have an idea, yeah, just shoot it down in the comments, in the chat. Let's think about this. But I guess we can try to build that. All right, like a simple model. How can we name this? User in period. Okay, let's try user in period. So we'll get the user ID at first, and that would be an integer, I think. Yes, and then let's build the relation. This is of type user. Now let's build the relation. What was the relation? Yeah, I'm just gonna copy this real quick, so I have to repeat myself. So this will be the user, and the user ID from our table, this guy here, references the user's ID here, and that's an integer, so that's cool. Each model must have at least one unique criteria that has only required fields. Either mark the single field with an ID, unique, or add a multi-field criterion with. Okay, so maybe we can do the multi-field criterion. For example, one user and one period's ID can be the pair, right? So I cannot have two pairs of the same user and same period ID. So maybe we can do that as well. But we'll see how we can do the, what was that, like a composite primary key, something like that. So let's also get the period ID in working, and also get the periods, so the absence tracking period. And now let's get the, awesome, that's cool. So we got what period, we also got what user, then we're going to need to get the days of capacity or vacation, or let's just say capacity. Okay, that can be an integer. And now let's jump into the Prisma documentation real quick to see how we can create a composite key, because we don't want any there's foreign keys here. We're using Postgre. We don't want we actually want the Prisma stuff, so maybe reference, no? No, not data source, but maybe try the data model, maybe they have something in there. Naskovsky, yeah, so TS extension, yeah, no worries. I use TS for stuff that does not involve React, right? So like my API routes, maybe some utility functions that, you know, I'm going to reuse, or custom hooks and stuff. But I use TSX whenever I use JSX, right? So whenever I use front-end stuff, I don't know how to say, JSX components, React components. So that's the reason, right? For example, we have seeds.ts. There's no React stuff in it. It's just a TypeScript file, right? It contains a function that does something, and it exposes, you know, it exports that function. But in this case, we need to use TSX because we have JSX inside, right? We have React components, we have React stuff inside this file. So that's the reason. Yeah, hey guys, by the way, I used to stream on normal latency. I set the latency to be low latency now, so if you guys experience some issues, let me know, okay? Because it's my first time streaming in low latency. The chat should be faster. You know, some of you complained that the chat is pretty slow, but then I realized that the latency was being set to normal latency, so I set it to low. But I also read that some streamers experience some issues when changing to low latency, so you guys let me know, okay? And also confirm if the chat is quick, right? So if you see your message on my stream, like above here, if you see it, yeah, if you see it appear in a reasonable time after you write it, then we're cool. Right, so how can we make the key, the primary key of our model, to be a composite now? Or maybe just, I don't know, maybe we can just set a simple auto increment. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, so these can be, I guess, 2 field attributes and 1 block attribute. All right, let's try that. Double adds ID, and we can say user ID and a period ID. Awesome, right? So we cannot write twice, you know, in the database twice the same user inside the same period, and that's it. Awesome. Okay, so then that's it. We got the capacity, and we can link a user with a period now. Okay, but then capacity, maybe it's not like capacity. Like, for example, the capacity can be 21 days, but how many of them are left? And maybe in this case, capacity would mean how many days are left, not the overall capacity, because not every employee has the same capacity, right? The older employees have more vacation, the newer have less vacation until, I don't know, their first year. I'm not getting into that. I have no clue how that functions. So let's not base the capacity on top of the database or company, because every user has a different capacity. Maybe we can do some stuff in the user table, like what's your capacity, what's the maximum number of vacation days that you can have, right? It's definitely not, I don't know, 60, right? It's 20 something. If someone's a newer employee, it's maybe 10, 15, 13, 16, I don't know. But maybe that's the admin. Maybe the admin needs to set that. As I said, Costa had an idea to do that automatically, but that's way too fancy since we got nothing delivered yet. So let's just ship 1 version and then do some fancy stuff later on. Okay. All right. So we can link now users with a tracking period, right? Maybe this array of absences, maybe it's not needed here. Okay. Maybe we need to move it here. And then we push into that, then we push all of the users' requests for absence from that period into that array, so we can have everything neatly, in our database. Okay, does this make sense, right? So we create requests, and what needs to happen in the API is first I need to get the current periods. And possibly, get all of the periods that are eligible, right? For example, we can be in maximum of 2 periods, because in the period we have this grace period, right? So let me see if I have it set up. No, for example, this is from July 20 until July 21. But the grace period is 1st of December. No, let's say 31st of December, right? So full 6 months after the period ends. November, no, why? Come on, man. All right, so that might be a bug, but we can validate it later on. So let's just say 1st of July and then New Year's Eve at 2021. Looking forward to that. So now we can create a new absence tracking period, right? So let's try 1st of July. Let's try 2021. Was this months first? Oh, I need to change that. So 7 first, right? 1st of July. And now do 2022, July the 1st. And the grace period will be 2022, December the 31st, 31. Right, so okay, there's a fix here. These guys are way too close to each other, but then also we are missing the grace period, so we can do that as well. Right, so what's happening here, guys? Imagine that today is, I don't know, September 2021, right? Or just a year, next year this time. So this period ended right after 1st of July 2021. This current period ends, and all of the vacation days are being restored, you know, reset to the employees, so they have a fresh new batch of days off that they can use. But the first period, it is ended, yes, but there's still grace period happening, right? There's a window of opportunity to the employees who didn't use all of their days off to actually now use it, and they have 6 months to do that. And that's why I said we need to get all of the tracking periods in plural, because if I am requesting days off, and if I have 5 or 3 days in my previous day period, but there's still time, right? The grace period is still going on, then I'm going to need to subtract the 3 days from the old period, from the capacity, and and all the other remaining days from the new period. And that's why we need to actually accumulate every period that currently, you know, is happening, whether it's started or whether it's in grace it's in grace period. So we need to fix that. Okay, so let's do a little front-end work here, because it's not much, and then we can, you know, just get in the zone and start to do some stuff, and then we can jump into, you know, actually putting this into implementation. So this looks like fun. Let's try to see what we can come up with. This is the admin page, and there's this weird thing in app that I have a folder called admin, and inside admin I have another folder called admin, and then I have the admin page. So that's you would ask yourself, Lazar, what the hell are you doing? But yeah, I'm gonna find some time to fix that. Okay, we got the absence types here, and we have the absence tracking period here. So let's jump into that component and see what happens. This is what we get. We get the panel heading, and now there's a list of the tracking periods, and we have and this is basically the text. Okay, so maybe how can we design this beautifully? Maybe, I don't know, let's just start by replacing this icon, this dash, with an icon. So I'm going to switch these into multiple lines, and then let's just do arrow right icon. I guess that was it, and let's say the color to be green, and let's see how it looks like. It's not the arrow, it's not the arrow that I wanted. Color, I need to find, I know I used like in here, let's see, we have an icon button. Ah, right, okay. I need to actually get the color from the themes. So let's do that instead. And we don't want any red colors because that's not dangerous. It's just chill. It gives us an information. So okay, we got the green color here, but then the arrow right icon, that doesn't look good. Let's just open up Chakra's website and start picking some icons. Let's make this pretty. There we go. Icons. This is what we actually want, the arrow forward icon. So let's put that into place instead. Get rid of the old one. There it is. And now let's see how it looks like. It looks fun, but not aligned, right? And also remember, always isolate your local imports from your package imports, please. You'll thank me later. Also, you can see that we have React icons installed as well for some of the more complex icons that either I don't like in Chakra or they don't exist in Chakra, because Chakra doesn't have like a huge selection of icons, right? So I just decided to also use the React icons package as well. Okay, so we got the icons, but let's fix the alignment here. There's the text. Can we say align? Align items? Or text align? The text align probably, but that's not going to be text align. Maybe vertical align? Maybe we can play around with this. Say middle, I don't know. I think there's a middle. No, it doesn't do the trick. Let's pop the hood. Okay, you guys can see. That's cool. Let me see this. This is enough. Okay, so here's the text. And we have this text, and then we have the icon, and we have this text. Maybe do this instead. Like, get rid of these weird looking things. Get this into a one line, and then just add a little space afterwards. And then do the same for the other text. Like this. And now we're good. It should not look good as well, because we have a horizontal stack, and it basically justifies all of the items with space between them. So we can just wrap this into I don't know, a flex. Yeah, let's just do a flex this time. And the direction would be a row, and the align would be center. And let's see if they are aligned properly. They are, but we do need like a margin of on the Y. No, on the X axis of, I don't know, 3. Maybe that would be too much. Yeah, that looks like too much. I guess 2. Yeah, that's sufficient enough. So okay, we utilize Flexbox. Now we have one paragraph. We have an SVG here, and we have another paragraph, and this looks good enough. But now we also need to show the grace periods. Okay, how can we do that? How can we do that? In this screen, I utilize a lot of badges. As you can see here, there's a badge here. Where am I going? Come on. There's a badge here. There's also a badge here with a tooltip. Maybe we can play around with badges as well. Yeah, like start, end, but then show a little text like this, like grayed out, grace, and when it ends. Let's try and see how that looks like. Yeah. Instead of a text, let's try to use a badge. Here as well. Okay, from July 2020 until July 2021. And then we can show a little icon like in the requests. TSX. Pick your days. No, it was not in the request. It was actually in the pending. It was in the pending admin, pending requests. No, actually, previous requests. Yeah. And then jump into the request row. Okay. We don't use the color mode here, so let's just get rid of that. We have the badge here, and search for the texts. Search for the texts. There we go. Color gray 400. Requested ads. Yada yada yada. Okay, so let's get back to the absence tracking period, and then also add the text here. color is gray 400, okay. And do just like a grace and add the grace periods. That would be period dot grace period, but let's just format that period to be M 4 Weiss. Okay, it needs a little space. So instead of MX, let's just go margin left and let's do a left based margins. So all three elements will have. Nice. Okay, so July 2020, July 2021, and then the grace is December 2021. But then we also need, we do need the days here. We do need the days, okay? Let's add some color now. So, green because it starts, yellow because it ends but there's still hope, and then red, probably red because it's over, man. So let's try that. Color scheme, green. Color scheme, yellow or orange, we'll see. And then do color scheme red. Let's see if it's way too, well, not color scheme, but actually. Ah, we already have the color, goddamn. Okay, so let's do red 400, but that might be too aggressive because it's not that scary. Okay. Nah. Maybe we also need to do some font size because these are way too small. What if we do one? No, well, actually one, two. Oh, this is in pixels. It's okay. So in that case, let's do 16, the default. Let's see if it makes sense if we add it to. Okay. Check this component. Check out this component. It's called stats. Where is it? I find it very useful. Basically, you can do this, right? With arrows and stuff like that. This is super cool. Right, so maybe we can also use the stat component here. Let's try to actually do that. So what can we do? We can go stat, right? So then we have stat label, which we're not going to use, a stat number, and inside of that number we can have the badges. Okay, let's try to put them inside here. And outside of the number, we can define a stat help text. And inside of the help text, we can then add the grace period text here. But we don't need the margin in this case. Okay, so this looks like this. The red doesn't sit well in this case. What if we just use the text without wrapping it with the text? Okay. We're gonna need some spacing between every item, so let's see spacing exactly. So let's do 6. Maybe that would be too much. Just 5 or 4. All right, 5. Okay, so July 2020, July 21, and the grace is 21st of December 2021, right? So between July, 1st of July 2021 and New Year's Eve 2021, there's an overlap in the periods, and that's normal. That's actually the real world case, and that's what we're after. Okay, so this looks cool enough. I don't know, I might think of it later. I don't feel the inspiration for this at the moment. So moving on. Okay, we got the UI for the periods here. We can define the periods, we can change them, right? We can delete them, we can go crazy with them, right? So that means we can start thinking about implementing the periods, because the periods are now just a little table in our database, nothing else. We do have a UI for it, but there's no, they're not involved anywhere. So I think this is the time to actually start involving them. Okay, so, but oh goddamn, we defined a new model, user in period. So I guess we need to make a new page called users that will be admin only. Okay, and the admin can manage all of the users and how many days the user have in all of the periods. Oh, this is getting more complex. Nevertheless, let's go inside of the admin. Let's just create a new folder called users. Inside of the users, let's create a new folder called pages, because that's how Blitz.js works. And let's just do users.tsx because we're gonna do React some stuff. We're gonna do some React stuff. So let's just define a little users page stuff in here. Export default users page, right? No props, no anything, and then let's just return. But also check this out, we do want the page to be admin only, so we're gonna need to grab the session from Blitz. Okay, like use session, and then if the roles are not admin, then just return page doesn't exist. So that's cool, right? So let's lie to the user that the page doesn't exist, because you're not an admin, so I'm sorry, guy. Inside of that page, we usually, you know, the pages are actually dump components. They don't have any logic in them. They just use other components to list stuff. So we just need to show a list of all of our users. And when you click on a user, we need to display a modal, preferably a modal, and inside that modal we need to display a list of all of the absence tracking periods that are, you know, eligible, or just all of them, I don't know. All of the absence tracking periods, and a little number for the days off, like for the capacity. And the admin can assign days to the user, right? Okay, so let's try that. Users pages. Let's create a new folder called components. Let's see, users list.tsx. I don't know, const users list. Let's create a simple component. Export default users list. Return, I don't know, like paragraph saying haha. Right, so let's clean this up and then return. I guess just return the users list in this case for now, but we'll keep the page just so we have a reference, you know, to modify it later. And relative imports, not a chance. app/admin/users components users list. If I were to move this import in a different file, relative imports won't work, but then absolute with the root defined in app will work anyway. Okay, so let's see that in action. We also need to list it in the side menu. So side menu, sidebar. I haven't been here since a long time ago. Then there's this nav items. And what are the nav items? These are the admin, yes, exactly. So we want to do order 5. Contents, users. And what is the left icon? I guess users icon. Let's see if Chakra have a icon for users. If not, we can use the radix icons. Okay, I guess they don't have a users icon. All right, so React icons. This is what we use. Remix, but let's just say let's just write users and pick the best looking icon out there. Or maybe we need to search for people. Let's try people. No, let's go to remix because I use remix icons. Let's try to search for users. And these are all single users. So remix icons don't have an icon. Okay, group line. This is what we need. So RI group line. Left icon active means RI group line, but then there's no fields. No fields. And that's not cool. Let's try to search for a group here. No, users. Maybe we'll use a different icon this time. I want it to be consistent, but hey, what can you do? We also need both cases, like outlines and fields, for consistency. People, was there people? Yeah, so there's BS people and BS people fill, so let's just use this guy. Instead of group, let's use BS people, but we need to import those as well. So I'm gonna do another import here from the what was it? React icons BI, and that would be BS people and BS people fill. Okay, so BS people and BS people fill. That's the left eye, and then the href would be just users. Let's see this in action. It's now exported from BI. BS people fill. Oh, it's BS, come on. Wrong library. Okay, we got the users, but we want them capitalized. Okay. Users. If we click on the users, we'll see a haha. That means we don't export the layout. So let's export the layout, and you guys will see how pages are being made in Blitz. So the actual page needs to be of type Blitz page. Okay, let's do that first. Pages user, here's Blitz. Let's put it on top so it's the main thing. Users page will be a Blitz page, and that's not all. We also need to export the get layouts here. So users page get layout equals the layout, which is a component made by me at the beginning of the project, and the title will be just users. I don't know. Sounds good enough, but this is the page, and this page is basically this component here. So that's how it Blitz first calls the get layout. No, actually gets the page, the actual page, scans this file. It gets the default export here, then uses the get layout. It passes the whatever we export from here and wraps it into a layout, and then this result is being rendered on the screen or passed along. So if we go to users, let's reload, because that needs to take place now. Users, there we go, see? And also the title is being set here automatically. And also check out the icon, it's filled now. And now it's outlined. That's why I had that, but I guess not in this case, so yeah, that's the idea behind full fields, icons, and outline icons. So users, right? So let's try to make sure that if I'm not an admin, but I'm just a user, if we go to users page forcefully after we relog, first we cannot see it in the sidebar, and that's cool, but if we just go to the users, page doesn't exist, right? So not a chance. Let's set ourselves back as admins, then generate a clear fresh session as an admin, and then we can work on this list here. Okay, then we're done here, we're done here, we're done here. This is our users list. So let's import use query from Blitz, right? Let's see the user queries. Users, get current user, get user absences, but then we also want to create a new get all users.ts. So get current user, let's just copy paste this real quick. Get all users, right? If the user is not logged in, return null, but we don't actually need this. We want to do context.session.authorize, or just session authorize. A session needs an explicit type annotation. What are we talking about? Let's just say context in this case. So context session authorized, but we only want admins. We only want admins to be able to query the get all users query. Okay, we don't want to expose all of our users to whoever knows how to operate Postman or curl. So we'll just do find many and then just return them, right? And let's use that query in our app. So first we need to import the query that we just wrote. So import get all users from app users queries get all users, then define all of our users here equals use query get all users, and we don't want any additional stuff, but then also suspense is false. What is this? Is not assignable to type null or undefined. Well, okay, not like this, but then I need to say null. Oh, goddamn. Okay, so query all the users, get the suspense false, set the suspense to false because we have to live with this, but then also is loading will be our users loading, right? And if the users are loading, then let's just return just loading, right? Otherwise I think we should return a list. Let's add some initial spacing for now. A list of users. So users.map. Here's our user. And if you see the type of view is automatically inherited as user. So I also have autocomplete. Right, so for every user we want to render a lists item. The key would be that user's ID, exactly, because we do want to set a key every time we map. We use the map or whatever function that returns an array of JSX elements. We do want to use a key. So we render a list item, and then what can we use? Man, I fell in love with the, you know, with the, oh, I know. Let's just add a panel here because we made it into its own component. So check this out. Right, nice. And the panel, maybe just add some spacing up top so it's not margin top. Ooh, it's not assignable. So users lists, I guess we need to return a layout here, right? Like we had in the different, you know, the different. So let's just put a box, just a simple box with margin top 6. So everything inside the page will have a reasonable padding, and there we go. Okay, so users lists. Now this is the list item. Inside, should we use the stat component again? Because I seriously dig the stat component, man. It is beautiful. I'm not sure why, you know, what's about it, but it's super cool. It gives me a lot of info. So this would be the name, right? This would be, I don't know, something, we'll think of it later. And this would be the employment date. So let's see how that looks like. So for every user, there's a list item, of course, but for every user, return a stat component. So the stat number would be the user dot, oh, first name or last name. Okay, so first name, but then let's just do u dot last name. And then for the stat help text, let's just go employment user dot employment date, and we should not see it now because we don't have an employment date set for in my case for me, because I'm the only user at the moment. Maybe we can throw around some users just to have some data. Okay, so we have the stat component here. So this or not defined. Something like this, I guess. Okay. Not defined, and then we'll have some buttons on the right that we can, you know, when you click on that button, we can show a model, and inside the model we can show the employment date, the first name, the last name, the image, I don't know. The image, what else do we, let's check the database. This is the user, we have first name, last name, the email address, and that should not be changeable because that's the email address that the user actually uses to log in. We have a role. Now these roles are just hard-coded for now. And by default, every new registered user is a role user, not an admin. So maybe we should do something about that. And then we have a picture which is inherited from the Google accounts. So employment not defined. We can set the employment date. Are we missing like fields? No. Yeah, and we can change the employment date, the role, the first and the last name. I guess that those are the only things that can be edited. Right, so I got an idea. Check this out. Editable. This component renders a text, right? But if we click on this text, it turns into an input and then we can edit some stuff. How cool is that? So we can use the editable components, but also with like the submit and cancel button. Like if we do cancel, it goes back, and if we do submit, it stays on. So would that be a cool way to actually define actually you know, edit these things? It's something that Jira does. If you guys work with Jira, you've probably seen it in action. Right, so we have the users, first name, last name, employment there, what else there, and role as well. Okay, and role as well. Maybe we can do the stats label now and show the role of the user, the role, but maybe capitalize it. Yes. Was that like capitalized or something like that? Hey Vishnio, thanks man, thanks for following. How users can understand is the field editable or not? Exactly. Maybe we can make it show a little, you know, change the background basically on hover, so it kind of gives a hint to the users that there's an interaction enabled here. Maybe we can do that, you know. Maybe we can try to do that. Let's just work with this, for example. I want to capitalize it. How to capitalize? Let's see. No, not a chance. Okay, so maybe CSS. Text transform will do capitalize. Nice. So this user is an admin, right? And instead of just showing it as a text, maybe get a badge involved. I love badges, man, what can I say? And maybe get the color scheme. Maybe get the color scheme working, you know. If the user.role is admin, then maybe return a red scheme. Otherwise, let's return a green, or let's use blue for the change. We have zero blue stuff. All right, so let's try to add a new user. Update it. Let's just copy these things here. So John Doe. Okay, john@halisha.com. This will be a user. Let's set the same picture just for laughs. We don't have employment dates, both me and John. So if we refresh and get back, we can see John Doe here. The spacing is too close. I don't like the spacing because we have some big elements here. And we definitely want to do some search functionality as well. What do you guys think? If there's a lot of users, you definitely want to search for them. But then maybe we don't actually need this whole thing, you know, the whole width of it. So let's steal the grids. Let's steal the grids functionality from here. Where do we have that? I think we have it in admin page. No, now everything's a flex. Exactly. Everything's a flex now. In that case, let's go to the users page. Turn this into a flex. Get rid of the box. What's the other things? What were the other things that we needed to pass? Flex direction and margin. Okay, it looks like something. So we should be good here. And this panel, because this is the users list, right? Let's wrap this in a box. Hey, Jale or DJ Ale? DJ Ale, that sounds like cool. Like you can do DJ music but also drink ale while doing it. So Jale 1K, super cool, man. Thanks for visiting. Right, so we have a box here. Yeah, we have a box here, and that box we want to do a max width of something, you know, like, I don't know, like small or extras. No, medium. Or actually, let's see the max width functionality in Chakra. Is it like a search thing? Width, where's the responsive styles? These are the breakpoints. These are the widths. Can I say like max width of medium, whatever that means? Maybe Chakra has it for me. Okay, we can do. Oh, that's cool. But nah. I guess there must be something. There must be something predefined, so we don't actually max width pixels. Well, okay, let's try this. Let's do responsiveness here. So what is the minimum that the screen can get? Let's do phone wise. I guess it's the Galaxy Fold with 280 pixels of screen. We also need to fix the stuff here, the icon as well, but nevertheless, this looks like okay. 240 with 20 pixels left and right, so we'll go 240. Right? Oh, no. When we are on small screens, let's do 100%, and then again on 100%. On this was extra small, I think. Now this was small. Medium should be medium. What was the breakpoint for medium first, and then we'll. So small. No, not like this. Possibly in pixels, please. So to interpret this, 300 pixels from 0M and then onwards. Medium, large. Oh, the first one might be also the base. Well, since it's being done in amps, maybe we can do. Yeah, let's do amps. So 30 amps, 48 amps, and then the large 62 amps. How many is that? 62 times 16, if that's the base, 992 pixels. Yeah, let's do 900 pixels, sorry. And let's see how it looks like. This should be full now, and the padding takes care of the rest. Let's go up. 414. It's full again. 100s. Let's do iPad. 768. Full again. And let's do, if we turn the rotation, if we rotate the phone, we should see it smaller. You know, it shouldn't be full width, or maybe I'm wrong. yeah, it's not full width, and maybe that's annoying, right guys? So let's do another 100% and then keep it at 900. Let's reload. It's still at 900. Let's do the pro. Oh, 136. Now it's, I think, there's an issue here. What if we just say 900? How is that going to be understood? If I get rid of this 900s, hey loaner or Ioner 23, yeah, let's talk in English. Yeah, let's let everybody understand what we're saying. Okay guys, we have a problem here. There's the list and this is the stack that we have. And this is, what is this? This is one level above the stack. Yeah, thanks man. So, we got the panel. This is the, well, the panel is the issue. Or the box is maximum, the panel does some tricks here. The only props that we have are the children props. We need to find a way to enforce this. Instead of a box, what if I made it a flex? Import flex. No change. Why am I confused? Because of this. This is weird. This is the maximum width of 100%, and this is full. Maybe the 100% is what's causing the issue. Max width of none, but then the width. What if we say width instead of max width? Same. God damn it, man. I don't care. Going back to a box. And let's not waste time on trivial stuff like this. So, let it flow. This is impossible. Users. Column based, and now row based. If we go back to the users lists, we have the panel, but we don't actually need the box in this case, so let's just get rid of it. So are we cool now? Which program you use to code? Visual Studio Code, buddy. You might need to use object instead of array and pass breakpoint as a key. Yeah, maybe that was the issue, but now since I cleared it, the issue still persists. And this is on iPad, so what if I were to, I don't know, duplicate this one? Sorry, not bookmark the page, but duplicate this one. Okay, that's the issue. Okay, so back in the users, we have this column-based user column-based flex direction up until now, but maybe we need to cut back on the what? Oh, actually they are rows. Let's just give. Why is this complicated, man? Am I missing something? I'm in the users page and here's the panel and it has a flex box. Let's enforce the flex direction to be column and nothing else. Thank you. All right, so where do we add the button? Where do we add the button that can show the days off? We'll add it at the end of it. So we have the stat here. Let's wrap everything in a flex box. Okay. Here's the stat. The flex box will have a flex direction of row because we want them horizontally, but then the justification, the justify content will be space between. Okay, so this will be at the beginning and the button will be here. The stat component is the first, and let's do it. Then add a button component that will say manage days off. Okay, I guess that's understandable. It should be on the, yes, exactly. And then align the, just do align center. So we want vertical centering. So we have an admin user. Lazar Nikolov is the name. The employment is not defined, so we need to define it. And then manage days off should display the model in which we list all of the absence periods that user is assigned to, and all of those absence periods list the capacity, like how many days left that the user has. All right, maybe we also need to I don't know, we'll see when we get there. I was thinking if we should use a separate property for the capacity, right? We have, for example, capacity 21 days, but there's 18 remaining, just so we know that user had 21 days of vacation. I'm not sure if, you know, it brings value to the app. We'll see later. Now let's try to make these guys here. Let's try to make these guys here editable. So let's learn more about the editable component that Chakra has. Okay, you wrap everything into an editable. There's a preview component that you can use, and in our case that can be the badge, and then there's an input, and inside of the input we can add a select. Okay, does that make sense? Let's try. So inside of the stat label we have the badge, but we want to wrap everything into an editable, right? And then editable preview, the preview will be the badge, but then the editable input should be the select functionality. And do we have options here? Select option? No. Let's check the API for that. Ordinary option inside here, and that can be an admin or a user, right? The values can be admin or user. We need to loop through these, so we need to keep them into a separate table. Since you choose editable text approach, don't you want to follow the same for manage days? I don't know, I guess, but in that case we do want to list all of the periods, you know, and that can be either 1 or 2, and that can also be a stat component. And then we have an editable, like what's the capacity and how many of them are free. I guess that makes sense, man. I guess that makes sense. We can definitely do that. I'm just concerned about the responsiveness, because they can be up to here, but when we go, you know, at the minimum level of responsiveness, then we might need to drop them below, and then they can be into its own separate column. But let's try that. I think it'll make sense, you know, because the user will not, we shouldn't be doing, I don't know, let's say I've been an employee for, I don't know, like 20 years, and that means I've been parts of 20 absence tracking periods, right? And should we bother the admin and display all of the 20 20 periods? I guess not, because 20 years ago even the grace period has ended, so that's old news then. Yeah, we can definitely do that. Thanks a lot for the idea, man. Definitely. Instead of a button, we can loop through all of the active absence tracking periods that are defined to the user. Exactly, and then render stat components. This will be cool. Just let me get some water first. Alrighty, ready. Yeah, we'll do that later. Let's try to do this now. Yeah, we got the editable preview in place. We have the selection in place. The placeholder. Let's add a placeholder. Role. Let's just say pick a role. Or change user role. Change role, sorry. Okay, so change role, and the select is okay. We're not going to connect it, you know, make it function now. We just want to see the UI and how it functions. Default value, and then there's the preview. Okay, so it doesn't really work like that, as I can see. Yeah, we got the props inside. Okay, we got the preview, we got the input. Oh man, and then there's the controls. How do we actually do that? Is preview focusable to false? And okay, but that's, for example, submit and blur to false. Maybe submit and blur to false will need to happen, but this doesn't look like what we actually need to do. Is preview focusable? What about components? Can we define different components? I guess we can't. Or maybe, yeah, let's try to do this, guys. Let's get the props and then return an empty fragment. Let's see if this makes sense. Input is a void element tag. It must neither have children or use dangerously. Yeah, so input, not a chance. So void. Now I guess it's going to complain about the preview. Exactly. And these are the props, and we want to pass the props to the editable controls. Right. The controls are below, and this is our badge. We're going to comment it out just swiftly, and now we want to say default value. Default value of all the default values should be actually user.role. And where is it? There's the preview, there's the input. Guys, we actually did this. Take some chakra. Well, I'm trying the preview and input. What if we move these guys above here and get rid of all these things? Would that make us happy? I don't see it anywhere. Come on, man, this should work. The default value is, come on. No. Maybe it's the stat component. What do you guys think? Oh. Let's reload and see what actually happens. Okay, so we had an error. We needed to, oh goddamn. Okay. Let's go back here. Yeah. I really wanted to, when I click on this guy, I wanted it to turn into a badge. I mean, into a select. Maybe we don't actually need to use the editable. Maybe we need to use. Let's move the editable there. Yeah, yeah. I think it's clever. It's more clever. So leave the badge here. We'll find a different way of, you know, rendering it. Let's get back. We don't need the select for now, and we don't need the box for now. And now let's get rid of this editable and actually set it to be the name, right? So the default value should be the first name, last name. Okay, so this is cool. And when we press, we can change the name, and if we hit enter, it should submit. And we can see the spacing here is also not cool. We don't want that. Let's force this guy to be focused. This guy. Add, what is the focus? Visited, active. Or maybe it's the parent that actually does this. Yeah, the focused or active. Which one is it? Let's just set it to be the focused. Okay. Command Shift O, I think, to organize imports. Hey Rocky, how's it going, man? Command Shift O, you say? Let's try. Is that built in? No, it actually shows me the symbols in my case. Maybe you're using an extension. Drop it in the comments if you are. That seems like, oh, unused. Let's see. Let's import the box. Now it opens the symbols for me. Maybe you got some fancy configuration. All right, so maybe we want to cut down on the width because of these, the button. But if we set margin left of 6, nicely done. Yeah, so stay in your lane. Nice. All right, so we can edit this, but then we also want to do some buttons here. Like if we click on escape, it should discard the changes. If we click on enter, it should submit the changes, but we also want to have buttons for that as well. In order to do that, we need to use the props that Chakra give us, right? So empty fragment here, so we'll have multiple children. And then we can, let's see, because I remember using editable on a different. We use it in the absence types here. And check this out. We have a placeholder, we have a size, we have flex. It starts with an on submit and whatnot, on cancel. God damn, I have everything. Now there's the flex preview, and then there's a, okay, there's just 2 buttons here. Nice. Input ref. I probably use this for focus, so we're setting the focus immediately. And then but we just have 2 icon buttons here, so let's skip that here so we can cheat. Icon button. Nicely done. Import icon button, please. Margin left of 3. That seems like a reasonable thing, but we'll see. Area label. Submit. Changes. Icon. Checkline. Yes, we'll use the same one. I need to start getting these into separate components. Const theme equals use theme from Chakra UI. Thank you very much. Icon. What else do we have? On click. We have an on click. that will, for now, just log some stuff. Do it. Maybe it was option shift. Oh, let's try that. I really want to have that. Okay, option shift. Oh, nicely done. Nicely done. Thanks a lot, man. This is a lifesaver. Okay, but I do need to play around with it because now the local imports are messed around. So, but maybe that can be an extension. Yeah. Thanks for this. ESLint and Predator saves a ton. I think I do. We got ESLint here. We got Prettier Ignore, but not Prettier RC, because I think I used the default one from my extension, from my IDE. Yes. Yeah, you do need. Okay, so do it. Yeah, I do it by hand, and I'm growing tired of it. Let's do another button. Submit discard changes. Let's do the close icon here. Come on, what is this? Okay, so I've copied it like this. Nope, I copied it like this. Close line imported, and on click, don't do it. Just for now, let's just see how it looks like, right? Nice, and that means the preview needs, I don't know, a flex one, maybe that'll, no? Oh, okay. And also the input, so we want these to be at the end. Oh, okay, got it. I got it now. These guys will show up only if it's editing, so we got is editing here, right? So if it's editing, then show these guys, otherwise we have no reason to keep them visible all the time. Empty fragments. Put everything in. How's the process to get a subscribe button? What do you mean a subscribe button? There we go, guys. Nicely done. What kind of subscribe button? For Twitch subscribe button? You need a lot of viewers, followers. Well, I'm happy with. I got 100 followers, by the way, like since 2 days ago. I need to stream on 3 more different days, and then I'll be eligible for affiliate. And when they send me the affiliates invitation, then I can get the subscribe button. Yeah, that would be cool. Right now, I just need 3 more days, like a total of 7 different days of streaming. I have 4 including this one, so 3 more days, guys. Yeah, and we can get affiliates. That would be fun. That would be cool. Alright, so check this out. If we click on this guy, then these 2 show up, and that's fun. But we also, oh come on, we also wanna place them, right? So this is the inputs. The input has a full width in this case. We don't want to do that, so let's try to forcefully, yeah, yes. So the width should at least, it should definitely not be 100% here. So I don't know. Let's try 400. Maybe 400's enough for a name. Okay. Now let's squish it. Ooh. Yeah, but we'll change the. But then 400. Okay, maybe max width should be 400. And if we were to get this direction to column, let's say, and not align everything central. Like start, I guess. I'm not happy with this. Let's try 300. What? Oh, the stats. The stat is not full width in this case. That's the issue. Okay, so maybe for smaller screens, when basically when the flex direction changes to column, that's when we will, you know, spread out all of the stat components. So we'll look into that later. Right now, I'm not interested into responsiveness as much as I'm interested to make it work. So this is the case. When we click on this, here's the name. Yeah. If you discard, what was the blur settings? Submit on blur is false. Exactly. We do need that. So editable. Submit on blur should be false because we don't want that. Is preview focusable? We do want it to be focusable, or we can just say like, I don't know, maybe we can add a little edit icon like this, like edit icon. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. Let's see, guys. Let's see how that looks like. Okay, so is editing on edit. So if it's not editing, right, let's show this icon button, and whenever we press it on edit should be called, and this is its own, the, you know, editable's own edit functionality. So audio label, that would be edit name. And what do we get? We get this. That's cool, but let's separate it a little bit. And when we press it, we get this. If we go anywhere, you know, if we lose focus, these guys are still here. So maybe on blur, or no? Oh, what should we do? We want to control. Let's see what on blur. Okay, on blur. On blur, we would like it not, you know, just to submit on blur false. Nope. All right, so I guess they can stay here, but then the inputs. Maybe, I don't know, change the color of the input to a different color to annotate that it's something's being, you know, done upon it. Maybe that could help. Also, the buttons are way too big, so let's try to set them a bit smaller. Let's see, icon button size large. Like the button component, pass the size to change the size of the button. Okay, so now let's check the button component and let's see the minimum size, extra small. How do we feel about extra small buttons? Maybe they're way too, yeah, they're way too tiny. Let's do small buttons. Okay. Yeah, let's do on click. On click we can do on cancel, but then get the on cancel from the editable. On cancel, but then also on submit, because we want to do submit here. Okay, so these will pass along Nice. Nice. Submit. Cancel. Nicely done. Escape also does the submit. Cancel. Enter does the submit. So nicely done. And this can be a list, and the users, the admins can scroll, and when they search for stuff, we can just, you know, filter out all of the stuff that needs to be filtered. So with this is the 400 pixels. How do we make that thing? I don't know. What if we do with auto? What would that produce? Let's reload. No. What if we remove the width at all? It's going to go. Okay, so that's not cool. Let's keep it 300. And we need to do the same thing about the employment, but not the whole, you know, label, but then just the notified. But then here's the catch. This input needs to be actually a date time input. Okay, so it needs to show a little what do you say, a little calendar. Okay, so maybe trigger the calendar as a popover in this case, but I guess this is okay. I guess this is okay, and then we can add a little edit button up top here. And okay. You know what we can do? For now, maybe we'll skip doing it, but just as an idea. Maybe up top we'll have a search bar anyways, right? But maybe also add a little switch thingy that can enable the editing of these, you know, of these icons. I mean, of these information here. So maybe that makes sense. We can try that. Okay, so employment. Check this out. We're going to wrap this into a text, into its own line. Okay. Like this. Drop it down. Import the actual text. Come on, guys. Yes. And then add a popover, and the trigger will be this, and the content can be that little day picker that we made, but let's just say hello for now. Only need to receive a single React child. Okay, so there you have it, a single React child. No, above, one above. Okay, where is it? Cannot appear as a descendant of P. The content. Well, then there you go. How about now? And again. Where am I? Here's the text, here's the popover, trigger, and here's the content. And where is that multiple overlay? Maybe it's not the popover content, but a popover body. Let's see. There's the popover, there's the popover trigger, and then there's the popover content. Then there's an arrow, a close button. Well, let's try to do that, I guess. Let's just... What is this? This makes no sense. Okay, so this is a P. Okay, this is a... Maybe the text here doesn't want to be there, so let's just Make it like this. What about now? You should be happy now. No. Then we have the popover trigger, and then we have the popover content, and inside, okay. Popover body, guys. And then we can say hello. Let's see now. When in doubt, do a little copy paste. The trigger. There's our trigger. It should be a button, I guess. Yeah, let it be a button. Okay, we're done with this. Then we got the content. Now let's add the arrow. Let's add the button. Let's add the header. Or do we don't want any headers. Okay, so are you sure you want to have that milkshake? Let's see if I'm sure or not. Alright, refresh. There we go. There's still an error though. Div cannot be as a descendant of P. Well, then the stat help text is actually a P. Right, so what if we... Well, as a descendant, pop over. What if we do a box, but then the box itself is a div, so it's not going to do us any good. The error will still be there. Exactly. Maybe now there's a 2. Oh, come on. Yeah, as expected, div cannot appear as a descendant of P because the stat help text is a P. But what if we render it as a span? In that case, it's not a P, right? And no errors happen. Maybe we also can get rid of the box. So let's not add layers to the DOM unnecessarily. No errors as well. And what if we were to turn this into a normal text? Now let's give it a little space here. Yeah, and the text is actually a P now, and that's why it's in its separate. But let's try to render it as this guy as a span as well. Maybe it'll be different. Okay, that's cool. That is cool. This button should not be that big, so let's go small. Now we do have a problem with the Z index, as you guys can see. I sure want to have that milkshake. Okay, in this case we'll just add the day picker here. Let's try. Let's see how it will look like. We got some props. We don't need the header. We don't need the box. Day picker, date picker, or select day selector. Sorry guys. Day selector, exactly. Props, definitely. Unselected days. Let's do nothing. Disable holidays. No. On day selection type. Well then that's it. Days console log. Hey there. Oh, the type needs to be, what was the day selection types? Okay, so the type needs to be day selection types dot single, because we're doing an employment date. Cannot be 2 days. Okay, so what do we have here? Man, this looks way too overcrowded. If we press this, we got these guys here, but then what? We gotta get rid of those as well. So day selector. If the type is defined, if the type is not defined, then what happens? Let's introduce another thing called render type pills, which will be a boolean, an optional boolean, and we can also always say true so we don't mess up the rest of the app. But then here we say if we want to render the props and there's a type defined, and then only then you can render this horizontal stack. So let's go back to this and say render type pills, set it to false. We should not see these guys, and that's what we want. Okay. Alright, so if we say 11th of November, it returns hey there, but and also it also gives us the day. So employed ads format form date fns day day month year. It's actually day because it's always a single day. All right, so oh nice, invalid time value. Invalid time value we're talking about. Let's only log out the day and let's see what do we actually get there. 16th of November. Well, there's the beautiful, I guess it's the format that's complaining. Month and year, capital M's, small lowercase d, and then the year. Well, what's wrong here? I don't see anything wrong here. God damn it. Invalid time value. But it actually is. Alright, so well that's just console log. Okay, let's keep it simple. We're going to set it, but not for now. Okay, so we got this thing working, which is cool. We got this thing working, which is cool. We do have some problems with the, you know, let's move the help text like 3. Can it? No. Oh, that's a bugger. Then let's introduce a box as always. Alright, so get all of the popover added to the box and actually import this box. And now it should have nice. So if we click on this, it doesn't actually collide with. And this is cool. Okay. This is clean. This is clean. Nice. Nicely done. And now we need to find a way to actually when we click on the badge, and the badge needs to be clickable. When we click on the badge, we should switch it to select components. Okay, so that should be easy. Let's get rid of this guy. Let's get the import use state from React, and we can keep track on what's being set. Okay, so const role, editing role ID, set editing role ID, use state, and there would be a number, but initially a null. Can we do that? Does that make sense? No. A number or undefined or undefined. Okay, so it's by default. So nice. Where do we have this badge right here? Okay, if the editing role ID exists and the editing role ID is the same as the u.id because we need to show it there, then render the badge. Okay. No. If it's not, if it doesn't exist, okay, if the editing role ID does not exist, if it's undefined, then render the badge. But when set the cursor to pointer, and then when we click the badge, we'll set the editing role ID to be the user ID. Okay, so we know which user we're editing. Now, if the editing role ID exists and the editing role ID equals to the user ID, that means we are editing that user's role, and then we can render a select. Okay, the default the placeholder should be change role. Okay, and let's do some options here. Admin with the value of lowercase admin and a user. Okay, and when this guy changes, then we can send the stuff. Okay, so let's see this in action. Bam, change role to user. Nice. We don't want this to be yay big. Maybe the select should have like a small size. Okay, I guess that's the smallest selection there is, and then probably the width should be, I don't know, like 100. Yeah, I guess it makes sense, right? The placeholder is also a value in this case, so maybe instead of a placeholder, we should say we'll do a default value of u.row. Okay, so it's instantly an admin. Let's refresh again. Ooh, but do you see that? If we press here, this guy is gone. So if the editing role ID is not defined, or it is defined but it's not this ID, there we go. So if we're either editing none of these, right, or we are editing some of these but it's not that one. So if we click on this, then we got the user here. Hey, that's cool. So only one can be edited. Okay, maybe that's a side effect we don't want, but hey. Right, so let's keep this civil user. It's automatically user, and admin is automatically an admin, so that's cool. What else? On blur. When we receive the on blur effect, then we will do a set editing role ID to undefined. Okay, let's see how that goes. There we go. Here's the user. If we click away, it goes away, but I need to select it first. God damn it. On click capture, on double click, I want away. No, definitely not. Okay. Okay, when we click away, we need to set the editing role ID to undefined. And on blur doesn't actually do that. Autofocus. Maybe autofocus needs to be added. It's a boolean or undefined. Well, dude, there it is a boolean by itself, so what? Should not be used as it can reduce usability and accessibility for users. Let's try first. Okay, so if we click on this, it's focused. If we click away, that's actually what we want, man. No autofocus. I'm not sure, man. Maybe we actually need this So we would like to shut up the linter for this. So let's, there we go. So JSX accessibility, no autofocus. Let's set it to off. Let's confirm. Yes. Okay. Done. So no more complaining. Yeah, I know it's a bad thing to install ESLint and then start setting, you know, setting off rules, but in this case we definitely need this, right? I mean, check it out. It is just super cool. All right, we can change the user role with this. We can change the name with this, and we can change the employment day with this. Nice. And now, as Vishnio says, we can have one or two, depending on what's the current day. We can have one or two periods days on our right here, right? And then we can edit the days in a similar fashion, like this, but with a number input, I guess. Okay, and what do you say we make a 5-minute break? It's 26. Maybe we can get back at 30. What do you say? Yeah, let's have a little break, guys. 4 minutes, and we're back. Okay, stay tuned. Don't go away. And we're back. Man, I am so on time. Alright, guys, I just had an idea, but I need your input on this, so make sure to pay attention. What do you say? I mean, this can go off the design a bit, but what do you say instead of building this manually? What do you say we use something like this? This React data grid, table, React table, what was it, table? Or is it React data grids.io? Yeah. What do you say we use something like this? Check out the demo. Okay, we have like a table and we can display some stuff like this. What do you say? Yeah, shoot me down a comment in the chat section of what do you think. Should we use something like this in this section here? In the user section, how do you think it will look like? Yeah, let me know, because it also has like a filtering stuff here as well, and you can sort and you can do all these things automatically. You think we should try to achieve this? I think it'll be cool. It'll be a cool way. Plus there's icons, avatars as well, so that's cool. What do you think, guys? Instead of building it, you know, from scratch, maybe we can use the React data grids component and learn that component as well. So maybe that can be super cool. What do you think? Pros and cons? I don't know how to create polls in these chats. I'm still new to this, but yeah, dude, shoot me your ideas here. I think this can be super cool if we were to do show checkbox column. So you also select multiple users and then, I don't know, delete them or stuff like that. And also select all of them, and we get out of the box. We just need to configure the columns and the rendering of the cells. What do you think? What do we have here? Codecam. Costa, you're here? Yeah, I think we should try to do this. Let's check it out. I think it's a cool component to have. I'm not sure how it can fit the design and everything. Okay, community. Yeah, let's try to do that. Yarn adds React data grids community. Nope, start. Right, so here we have a list of our users, but let's try to comment it out for now. Okay, and let's try to import the React data grid now. Let's get rid of I guess comment out these guys because we want to go back to them, probably. We'll see. Okay, so import React data grid from Innovua React data grid community, but then also we want to do the CSS. Import the CSS as well. Nice. Okay, so now you know what? Let's not do this here. Let's isolate it into a separate component that we can easily delete if we don't like this. So users data grid.csx, and let's just show users data grid components. Import users data grid from app users components. Come on. Well, of course. Oh, admin, sorry. Admin users components users data grids. All right, users data grids, just a simple component exported defaults users data grid. We don't use semicolons, and return. All right, so imports React data grid community, and then also import CSS. Return the React data grids. I think it's a self-closing component, and then it would like to have the columns definition here. And we would have columns wise, we can have, let's see how we did how we define the columns. Defining columns. Yeah, but okay, so name, header, yes. The name should be avatar. The header should be avatar. No default flex, please. Then we have the name should be the name. Header should be name. And let's do a default flex of 1 because we want to do a lot of stuff. Okay, then we want to do employment date. Also default flex should be 1. Then we want to do role. Default flex should be 1 in this case as well. Okay, and then we'll see. Right, now we want to add a data source, right? So let's get all of the users. I mean, let's just pass the users here. So this will be a user list. Type props user from Prisma, exactly, but it's going to be an array. So we'll get the users from here. Okay, and then data source will be users.map. So for each user we will return an object, and that object, the avatar, an object, exactly. So the avatar, no, was it like this? It was like this, yeah. The avatar should be user.photo picture, yes, picture. The name should be u.first name, then user.last name. The employment should be users.employment date, and the role should be user.role. Okay, let's see how this looks like. I'm gonna save this. Did we start? It's compiling. There's an error. Cannot resolve. Well, of course, because we don't have the enterprise, we have the community. Okay, now this avatar should be wrapped inside of an avatar, and we can get that avatar from Chakra. There we go, avatar. And there's a source as well, and this guy now can get the render functionality. we can expand this to be actually an avatar. The source will be the value that we receive, okay? Was that correct? Or we need to destructure the value. There we go. Awesome. So this avatar, maybe, you know, get the size. Oh no, wait. Yeah, let's do a size of small or medium, but then we can, yeah, we can do the row height. We can set the row height to, I don't know, 430. So let's see if it makes sense. There was an API for that. So row height. There we go, row height. Which defaults to 40. General props. Where is it? Row heights. Let's see. Minimum width. There's the table. Row height. Oh, okay, so not row by row, but actually row height. We can set it to 130. Let's see if that's way too much. Come on now. It certainly is too much, so let's try 60. Oh, I need to reload. Okay, so we got something going on here, yeah. Maybe do the width of, set the width of this to, I don't know, like 60, so it's more like a square. But then the avatar name doesn't show up, so maybe try 80. More, 90. God damn it, man. Okay, so 100. Yeah. Guys, what do you think? Does this make sense? What do you think about this? Let's grab a UI faces. Let's grab a UI face real quick. I don't know. This guy here. Let's add the John Doe's picture to this random user, and now we have something. Yeah, cost. I think it's okay enough. You know, we have a list of users, and now we can easily filter stuff. You know, based by the name or the role and stuff like that. So I think it makes sense. You can also trigger the columns, like maybe I don't want to see the avatar, then just poof, it's gone. Yeah. And then we can add a little button at the end that can trigger the model. What do you guys think about that? But then we also want this panel to maybe expand a lot. Let's see if we can achieve that easily. Okay, so this is the panel that we have here, and this is the parents. No, where is it? Yeah, so if we were to say flex 1 doesn't work like that. What is this? I guess this is not a flex. It's not a flex box. Okay, so let's see. We have the page here, right? We have the users list page inside. Okay, so that goes even further, I guess, into the app get layout, and that's the components, right? So if we were to go to layout, okay, we have the flex for the navigation, and then we do this, and then we have a login. Okay, so and then we have a box. There's the sidebar and there's the box. Maybe turn this box to a flex, but let's try not to break things. So flex direction. should be column always. Okay, and now if we were to set flex 1, okay, so now, oh, all right, so now this is the children is the page, and this flex should have a flex of 1, right? We go down to the users list, we have the panel here. If we wanted also to have that all stretched out, we need to wrap it in a box because we cannot use, and let's see, come on, this panel has a stack. Yeah, let's not touch that. So let's wrap everything in a box. Import the box and then add flex 1 to the box, and we should see the list full screen. Let's reload and see what happens. Doesn't want to reload. Okay, so maybe a full page would make sense here. Then we can also utilize some I don't know, like pagination and stuff. What is going on, man? All right, so let's try again. Localhost 3000. Let's go to the users now. Okay. I guess we do need to. Yeah, we're just adding. Layers to the DOM necessarily. If we were to say flex 1 on this, it should go full. What is this, man? Flex 1. Well, I guess not. What about height? Equals 100%. Okay, so height it's not the flex 1, it's the height. And if we set the height to all of the panels, then we don't, like, check it out, a height of 100%. Let's remove this guy so it inherits the one that we set. If we go to, I don't know, pending requests, I think it'll be a mess. See? And also here we have a lot of unused space, but that's okay because we have the children here, right? But with them we also want to do expand, which can be a boolean, right? So if expand is set, then maybe we can try to add the class 100%, right? Otherwise it can be auto. So expand, if expand is true, then we'll return 100%. Otherwise we can return auto, and these guys should fix. Awesome. Now we can see they're fixed. There are some issues with the sizing here, but if we go to users, god damn it, it's not 100%. Oh, because we didn't set 100%. Okay, so panel expand. Nice. Okay, so we didn't break anything. And we got it working. That's cool. We can see this later on. Let's focus on the users now. So we have a full height panel right now. Okay, and that makes sense. That makes sense. And we list all of the users here. And what kind of roles do we also want? In columns, we got the employment date, role, email, of course. Okay, so users data grid. We are going to keep using the users data grid, okay, because things are going to get complex. We don't need this. We are no, not the theme at least. All right, clean. We're gonna get rid of this whole comment now. It's good that we did it, so we demonstrated some stuff. But yeah. We'll keep it simple like this. Okay, email. Now let's jump into the users data grids and add the email, but the email should be, I guess, after the name, because it's pretty important. Name, email, header, email, default, flex, yes please, and then add it to the list, email / username dot email. We should see it here. Nice. Okay. Oh, now this font, we're using Poppins, and this is Poppins as well. Then okay, it's okay. Now let's check this out. If we go dark mode, the table is still light. Okay, so we need to find the theme here. Okay, and can we see like the themes, hooks, packages? Yeah, there's the index CSS that we need to import, but then there's a theme, and inside of the theme there should be more stuff. Let's see. Grouping, pagination, styling and theming. Exactly. Themes. Okay, if we want to do that, probably import the base CSS, and now there's default light CSS and default dark CSS. We need to import both of them. There's amber, blue, default, green, pink. I guess the default was yellow. I don't know. We'll see. But if we were to do theme equals dark, we should see no. Or default dark. Yeah, we should see these things. So cool. We can import from Chakra the color modes. Color modes, use color modes. Okay, so, and do this, check this out. We can do this, default color modes. And if it's light, default light. If it's dark, default dark. No. It just lost. Let's check it out. Default object. What? No. Or was it like? Yeah, color mode like this. Okay, so let's see. We got it to light theme, and now we got it to black theme. This is amazing, guys. This is cool. We can also change it to green, since the green is our branding. So that would be, instead of default, let's say green, but then also import the green theme as well. Okay, so we got the green thing going on. Looks cool. What do you guys think? Employment date role. Nice. And then now we can add, you know, now we can add the actions, like add the edit the capacity. But this makes total sense. What else? You know, we can check this out. We can also do inline editing here. Let me just find the API for that. Edit, inline edit, yes. Oh, there was it. Yeah, so it does support via the editable boolean prop. It's up to you to hook the onEdit complete callback and apply the results on the editing. Okay, so we needed to set editable to true, but then there's also on edit complete, which I don't know. I'm not really sure how we can do that. And then on edit complete, value, column ID, and row name. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. On edit complete, now we can get all these. It utilizes a use callback. Okay. But then the data source, we need to define it outside. So use callback from React. Let's get the data source out. Okay, and then we say set data source. Right. So data source. This would be the initial. Okay, so React up top, use callback, but then also use state, because we want to set, update the data source. And let's do set data source equals use state, and this is the default state, the initial one. And then we got the set data source here, and on edit complete we'll just call on edit complete. All right, cool. Let's see how it looks like. If we were to edit this guy, we get an error. Ref is not a prompt. Try to access it via result in undefined bit returns. Okay, let's say here and then hit enter, and we got the new data source, right? So we could try this, but then utilize the column ID or the row and the row index, or the value. Basically, I can also do rest, and let's see what are the rests of the props that we can get from editing. Okay, we got cell props, column index of 1. We got the data, and the row ID is undefined. Why is that? Okay, maybe. Yeah, let's try that. Maybe define a column named ID. Right, the header should be ID, but default visible should be set to false, because I think I saw that somewhere in the documentation. Default visible to false. Okay. Type number, it says type number, and we're happy with that. Okay, so the ID should be user.id. Maybe that's the row ID. Yeah, maybe it parses. Oh, sorry. Number is in quotes. Okay, so let's try that again. Okay, row ID is 1. Nice. So we got the user, right? And we also got the, what is it? The column ID. Okay, column ID rests. Let's just say value as well. We don't need the row index in this case, because we got the row ID, but we can just keep it anyways to update the data locally. And let's see how that looks like. Okay, the value is Lazar Nikolov. The name property is the what we're changing, right? And who's the user that we're changing? The user with ID 1, right? If we were to change John Doe's name, we should see John Doe, the name, and then the row ID is 2, because if we go to users, the ID of 1 is Lazar Nikolov and the ID of 2 is John Doe. So we got the user ID, tucked away from the user's eyes, but we do get it if we want to edit some stuff. So that's cool. We also want to do a mechanism that will update every or maybe we can send the user based on the, what was it? Based on the, let's get the row ID as user ID, and let's see, updating user ID, column ID property with the value. Let's see if that makes sense, because I think we have the whole data. Updating user undefined name property with the value John Doe. All right, so row ID needs to be with capital I, and then we don't need the rests. User choose name property with the value John Doe. Yeah, we got everything. This is cool. This is cool. And editing this should be a select. Okay, so editing that should be a select, and let's try to like this, for example. See, on edit complete, disable editing. We can also disable the edit. Yeah, well, let's disable the editing. Let's disable the editing of the email. Editable, set editable to false, because we don't want to be able to change the email, because this is the authentication method. So I'm trying to find a way. Renders inline. Okay, so editors can be rendered by the column render function by using renders inline editor. See next section for go. Double click the cells in the students column. Exactly, this is what we actually need. So student render editor, actually this is the thing. Okay, render editor, nice. Role render editor, that can give us the editor props, and we can return a select. Yeah, exactly, a select default value. No, let's return it like this, so we can check the editor props that we get. Okay, so no default value, but inside we can just hard code for now admin and user. Let's add the values just in case we want to go further, right? We don't need. Oh. What's up with this? We're missing. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so if we were to double click the role, we should see nice an error, but besides the error, they should have a unique key prop. Okay, we can fix that easily. We have the role, nice, and the props are the theme, the value. Okay, the value. Nice. We have the value. We have the key. So editor props dot key. Default value should be editor props dot value. Native scroll. I guess on change, on click, on complete. Nice. And then we can we can pass through all of these functions from the selection component, and then we're off the hook. Nice. Okay, so if I were to select to edit the user, we should see the user selected. Awesome. Now the ref is not a prop. I'm not sure why. We need to find that, but we fixed the key, guys, and that's cool. Okay, so autofocus on this guy, and on blur we can call the on complete, I guess, or on change. Editor props on, I guess, on change. Yeah, on change, and so it then on edit complete, or maybe on complete. We'll see. We have a console log inside here, and if that's the correct, if that's the correct one, we should see it. And that's not the correct one, so on complete, let's reload. Okay, admin, nice, with the value admin. And now let's select the user with the value admin again. I've set the user. Well, of course we need to call the onComplete function. We need to pass the value. Yeah. Or instead of default value, maybe we need to pass the value. So when the value actually changes, it changes that guy as well. Maybe it has a built-in mechanism for data binding. So let's see. Admin user. Come on, dude. No, that's the problem. Yeah. We got the user here, and that's cool. So we kind of need to. We need to use another use state for this. I'm not sure why. Oh wait. No. Let's try this default value. Okay, and then on change, we get the value here, and let's say value. No, editor props dot value equals value. Maybe that can be, yeah, I think that's the correct way. Let's see it in action. We get the user now. Let's change it to admin. That's changed over there. And now the property with the value user. Maybe we need to do this and then call editor props on change with that value. Right? Maybe that's the idea. Or maybe on change propagates the stuff, the new value, so we don't actually need that thing as well. And if this is the case, then it's a one-liner. So let's reload just to be sure that it's user. Okay, so your admin now, we can see it set here, right? If we go again, value admin. Awesome, guys. We made it. So all right, cool. We can hook up the the mutations later, but then we can just say on change is simply on change, and on blur is on complete. So change it as you wish, and on blur actually disables that. Okay, so I want to do some additional stuff here. Meaning on the render functionality. So let's get the value. Let's return a text component with that value in place. All right. But the text component should have the, come on guys, text. Should have a CSS of text transform capitalize. Do we have that inline text? Oh, we do have it. So it's nice. So that's shorter. Let's see. I think we used it in a different. Okay, but that's the badge, and here. Okay, we're good. Let's remove it. So these guys should be uppercase. Nice. Yeah, what do you guys think? I think it's looking good. Nice. And inside here we can now do the on render render the editor to actually show the little calendar where we can pick the dates. What do you think? I think that can look super cool, but We should not be ignoring this thing here. Data grid cell ref is not a prop. Try to access it with results. Trying to access it with will result in undefined. If you need to access the same value within the child component, you should pass it as a different prop. Value on prop input should not be null. Consider using an empty string or clear the components of undefined. Okay, so that's because we don't have the employment date, right? And that's a date. What if we say just as, because it will be a string, so maybe one of these errors can go away. Employment with the value of empty string, yeah, so no errors. Okay, so it's not the input doesn't have a value of undefined or null, so we fix that. But we had a different issue. Let's reload. I think it happens the first time that we focus on inputs. There we go. Maybe it's the select, but let's try here. No, it's not the select. It's basically just the ref. So that was the employment day, and we don't do anything fancy here. So this simply throws the error. Ref is not a prop. It's trying to get the ref, but it fails to get the ref. Okay, I can try to find, you know, I'll find another time to actually fix that, so let's not waste any time. Okay, and I'm getting tired as well, so I guess we can continue for about 20 more minutes. Yeah, I think we can. So there's that, there's the role. Let's try to add the employment dates now. So we'll do the render at first, so value, because we wanna return a text component, and within that we can use the format functionality from data.fns. We'll get the value, since it's going to be a datetime, I don't know. This will be a date. Okay, so let's not do this. Okay, so format. The format should, if the value exists, we should format that into a date, month, and year, right? Otherwise, let's return an empty string. Okay, so this should be an empty string now. Let's edit this guy. So we trigger the error. Let's get rid of the error. So if we go here, oh, should not be null. Well, okay, so that's a different story. Yeah, render editor is that functionality, and we got the editor props here. Okay, we don't need to return something, and React day picker JS have this day picker input thing that we can actually use. This guy here. But also the problem that I have with React day picker is that the production build of this app actually doesn't work now. So that's for another day. But I guess we can, yeah, I guess we can use the day picker input for this to actually do a custom overlay, and inside we can, oh, there are children as well, and those children are actually basically this guy. Okay, without any today button or anything. Let's try to return a day picker input. Okay, like this. We're not going to do any overlay components, and let's just Yeah, let's just... What is wrong now? Cannot resolve. Well, not from the type, so obviously, but they picker input from they picker input. Okay, so let's reload and see what happens. If we click this, we got the day picker imp. We should have the... God damn. Okay. Let's read some more. We have the value. Okay. We have the on day change. Let's continue. Okay, so the value should be either the editor props dot value or today. If there's no date, if there's no date passed through, then we'll just use today. Yeah, and on day change can call the editor props dot on change functionality basically. No. We'll call two different. We'll call editor props on change with that day, but then also call editor props on complete. So it hides the actual input. So let's try. Where is the input? Of course. Oh. But if we click on this, oh no. Doesn't look good. Okay. Day picker input. Maybe use our own day selector, because we put a lot of work in that. So on selected days, right? The type will be single, because it's a date of employment. And on selected days, we'll get the days, and then we'll do that. We'll say editor props dot on change days of 0, because it's only 1, and then editor props on complete. So we wanna hide it. And there you go, the type, and then we also wanna do render type pills to false, because we just want that little piece. So let's check it out. Ooh, no. Not like this, guys. We want that to float, okay? We want it to float. So I guess we do want to use the day picker inputs. Okay, let's go. Let's roll back to the day picker input implementation. Let's see. Focus. Do we keep focus? That's not the case. But let's just add a key so he doesn't complain. Editor props dot key. We have the value on day change. Let's see if it actually works. I don't like it that it's there. This is the ref error. So when we press, god damn it. I guess it's something with the styling. I mean, let's see day selector. I think I had that. Yeah, we had that issue here. So we need to import the day selector style. That's right. So let's do this in that case. Or no. No need to import those styles for everything. We just need to import them here. Okay. This will be a single. Like this. Now it should display the calendar input nicely. Yeah, it is. There's some height problems, but we do see some stuff. Right, so let's do the inspect element here. let's focus. No, let's focus over. Oh god damn it. Okay, let's start digging some stuff. We got the row here, and we have the whole table. Yeah. What if we did like height or no? There's the view, but then there's this thing here. The row container, the sizer, and some sort of an observer. But this is basically the thing that actually, yeah, this is the thing that actually limits the calendar picker. Yeah, that's exactly that. So we want to get out of that, and because this is the position absolute. Position sticky. Let's try to read some documentation. Customize the overlay. Date picker props. Overlay components. And that overlay component can be overridden. Well, let's try that. Let's try that. Let's get these things, because they come with. Okay. Let's do a little, I don't know, let's do a box. We can set the children inside, right? We don't need the selected day. We don't need the class name, or we can, I don't know, we can do the class name says class names. Okay, and then maybe we can do a Z index type of thing to be set to, I don't know, like 999. Let's see if it makes any difference now. Okay, yeah, it's the position thing. It is the position thing, so I'm not sure how we can fix that. So let's try position. What if you say absolute? It's going to be still, man. Still, it's yeah. We don't need this. I guess the only thing is to find a way to get this component here that we have. I'm not sure about this name, but maybe try to do, you know, hide the overflow hidden functionality so we can have our, you know, calendar working properly. Style, CSS, we have CSS. Was it show? No, visible. Let's reload. We also need to edit the... Nope. Oh man, this is a bummer. This sizer thing. Let's let's read about it. Man, this sizer thing is the issue. Actually, it's not that one. If we were to... Yeah. I think the sizer pushes its parents. But the parent has the overflow hidden. So we need to find sizer's parents and remove the overflow. Let's try to do the styling and theme, because I know there are classes here. Good components. Headers, rows, cells, and that's it. View a React data grid. So let's see where that class is. There it is. I guess this is body, and this is view a React data grid class. So it's way off. It's way off. But then the body here, I mean, it doesn't even contain a class or anything, and that thing has the overflow hidden. God damn it, man. This is not cool. That is not cool. What if we were to, instead of get a day picker input, let's try to do a popover. Maybe a different construction can, so the trigger can be this day picker input, but nah, we don't actually want that. But let's add a button, just so we can, I don't know, we can see some stuff like change dates for now. Just to see if it works. Pop over content. Pop over close button. Self-closing. Pop over arrow. So we have that little arrow up top. And then we have pop over body. And inside that body, maybe we can have a day selector. Why not? We have the unselected days. Let's do the editor props on change days, the first one, because it'll always be a single type. Okay, and editor props on complete. The type is always going to be single type, and render pills will be set to false. All right, so let's give this another go. Change dates. No. Although it pushed the the content a little bit, but I think we're still limited by that sizer. Oh. That is not cool. Not cool at all. Not sure what we need to do, man. What should we do? Yeah. I can't think, man. I'm tired. Let's wrap it up for today. Although we did some pretty substantial work, I think. I think this can definitely look interesting if we achieve this whole rich table functionality. Although now that I think of it, maybe it was the right way to develop it from scratch. But yeah, I'll play around with it these days and just make a better decision. And we'll see what's going on. So what should we do? Hey guys, maybe we can try to raid the channel. Since I'm feeling pretty tired, maybe we can wrap it up and continue on a different channel. Let's see who's live right now. Yeah, there's this guy coding in Python. Maybe we can raid his channel. What do you guys think? Should we raid somebody? That'll be cool. Alright, so guys, yeah, I'm tired, so let's wrap it up. Let's continue the party on this guy's channel. So thank you for watching, everybody. Until the next time. I'm not sure what day I'm going to stream next. I'll keep you in the loop, you know. You'll get the email if you subscribed. If you didn't subscribe, if you didn't follow, then just hit that follow button and you'll know. So if you like this, yeah. Until the next time, guys. Alright, let's try to raid the channel now. I haven't raided before, so I think it'll look cool. Alright, so again, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you the next time.